and a budget resolution that will tee up a larger Democratic bill filled with spending priorities. The latter bill will not win any GOP support and will need to pass with just Democratic votes, including Manchin's. Okay. So here's why this matters. He's saying everything needs to be paid for or I'm not going to support it. Now you might say, well, that's fine. I don't see the issue with that. But then he also is against raising corporate taxes to a number that would really help pay for it. He only wants to raise corporate taxes a tiny bit. He only wants to raise taxes on the wealthy, if at all, a tiny amount. So how the hell do you want to pay for it then? How do you want to pay for it? The way in which you would pay for a lot of these spending priorities is to raise taxes on corporations and raise taxes on the wealthy. If you're telling me you don't want to raise them to a sufficient number, well, then what you're saying is, I'm really not in favor of the reconciliation bill, or I'm really not in favor of even a half-decent reconciliation bill. And that is what he's saying. Oh, it all needs to be paid for. I mean, guys, the fucking 2017 Republican tax cut bill, where 83% of the benefits went to the top 1%, added trillions to the deficit. And they just like, yeah, no, it's fine. Go ahead. Go right ahead. Go through. It's fine. You guys pretend like you're deficit hawks. Not only are you not deficit hawks, you added to the deficit to give more money away to the wealthy and corporations. It was a giant tax cut for corporations and a giant tax cut for the wealthy. And they did it and didn't blink. Any of the wars we do, they just do it. It's not like, well, we must pay for it all ASAP. They don't do that. It just adds to the deficit. But now when it comes to decent things for the American people like elder care, paid time off, expanding Medicare, they're like, we got to pay for every penny. And by the way, we're not going to pay for it the way which would be obvious, which is raising taxes on the wealthy and corporations. I'm taking that off the table. Oh, for the love of God. So listen, to put this as simply as possible, if Joe Biden doesn't get Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema's punk asses to fall in line, that's it. How many times have I told you his time in office as president is effectively over because he's not going to get anything else done. You got to call him into your office. You got to play the carrot and stick approach game. You got to say, I'll be your best friend or your worst enemy.